What is up, guys? It is week 5 of Operation Goose Rocket, and I have cleaned up a little bit. I'm trying to look a little something special, trying to do something different. Lots of challenges. This is a big week. So today we have some announcements on some of the books, the writing, and some things happening in the next month. We've gotten 1 month down, the first month of Operation Goose Rocket done, and it was ugly. We're going to talk about some of the results, as well as talking about how focus can help us move forward and talk about how we're implementing that plan to execute on our goals and dreams. So let's check it out. Let's talk about some ways we can focus more. And yeah, check out my day as I go out about. And thanks a bunch, guys. Glad to have you. Operation Goose Rocket, week 5. Let's go. Also, about to head out in an Uber because I got a medical appointment that I need to get to. So hopefully this will work out.
God, it's so hot.
Yeah.
These last 2 weeks have just
Been really brutal. It's kind of nice, though. I think I'd rather heat up too much than freeze, but I don't know.
kind of agree.
Yeah. Maybe if there was a beach, I'd feel a little better about it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, just got done with my medical appointment, and hopefully you guys can hear me and it's good. But let's talk a little bit about focus, right? Because there's a lot of things that it takes in order to get things done in your life. And more importantly, you have to stay focused in order to do that. When you distribute your energy, you're not able to move things effectively. You're taking it out. As you can see, I'm kind of experimenting with these videos, trying to do more and just kind of get a better feel. So comment, let me know how it's working for you guys. But the kind of moving on, right? So the first point I want to talk about with focus is that when you're making your plans, right? Because now if you've gone through the rest of Operation Goose Rocket, week 1, you would have talked about your values. Week 3, we established goals. And week 4, we talked about maintaining momentum on those goals. But now, moving into week 5, we need to start talking and understanding what is focusing and how did we actually get things done. Because as we've been moving along, we're going to see a lot of things come and try to interrupt us and get in our way. And focus is how we're going to start taking that down. I don't know if anybody here plays like RTSs, right? But if you play like StarCraft, right, and you're the Terran race and you have a bunch of Marines and they're shooting all over the place, you're going to do a little bit of damage to a whole swarm of units, but each of those units is going to be able to attack and take you down. But when you focus fire, right, you're able to hit one unit, kill it, and then hit the next unit, kill it. So then you're just able to bring things down faster. And then that's how you stay alive. And so just like life, problems are like the little zerglings that are attacking your Marines. You have to focus fire and take them down. So as you've been going through this first month of trying to get your writing done, trying to get your priorities in place, you're starting to see now, okay, these are the big obstacles. These are the big enemies that are going to take me down. These are the threats, right? And then from understanding what those threats are, now you know which one you specifically need to focus on. So we're going to go about it today in week 5 about how I'm going to focus down each of my goals and some of the obstacles that have come up. So the first thing is we need to identify what are our weak points. And that's going to be the very first step, is what are our weak points? And from there, we can figure out how to assess them and help us with our focus. Hey guys, so I'm in the car with my friend. We are rolling about, actually going to get this video done. And so right now, we're talking about step 1 on basically how do you figure out your weaknesses as you're going and doing your work, and then how do you create a plan to get over them, right? How do you expose them? And I just want to share it with my friend. He's Chris, handsome dude, Chris McGee. He's got great advice. And yeah, Chris, so how do you, so let me do a proper introduction. I'm going to edit this out. So Chris is a real estate agent. He was also doing on this YouTube thing for a minute, and he's a big fitness guy. And so he's super great at finding weaknesses, exposing them, and getting stronger. Man, I swear my words. So Chris is going to give us some advice on how we find our weaknesses and then create a plan to get over them so that they become strengths or at least stop holding us back. What are some of your thoughts, Chris?
Ready, go.
Ready, go. Right? Just go for it, putting you on the spot.
Wow. Good questions. Finding your weaknesses and then what?
creating a plan to like either kind of keep them from really hurting you more, or at the very least, like make them into strengths. Because I've seen you do that. You've definitely taken on a lot of new things, right?
So, yeah. So here's what's coming to me as you ask.
Mm-hmm.
This might not be like anyone's go-to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And it might sound oversimplified.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is you're trying to do, there are people who have done it well before.
Right.
Look at those people. Look at how they do what they do. And then look at where you're lacking.
Right.
So a great example for me was my wife.
Right.
And her whole family.
Right.
So when I got married, I was a complete doofus about money. And I was very like type B, go with the flow. Everything will be fine. Just procrastinate, all sorts of stuff. Right. And it's like, it had created discomfort and pressure in my life up to that point.
Right.
But I hadn't yet been like painfully aware of how my lack of work ethic and how my lack of sense of urgency for getting things done
Mm-hmm.
that needed to be done, and caring about how well I could produce and make value and therefore make money.
Right.
I hadn't put all that together. It hadn't been painful yet.
Right.
And now suddenly it was painful. Like my parents, my wife's parents met working at a bank.
Right.
My father-in-law was the head accountant for decades of a
Right.
major jewelry company.
Oh wow. Okay.
So they have 4 kids, my wife being one of them, obviously. The oldest went to school for accounting.
Right.
The second oldest married a dude who was an accountant.
Oh wow.
So like I
it's
joined this
it's
family
like
and
a thing,
everybody
right?
gets money.
Right.
And everybody gets like just the concept of like disciplined hard work.
Right.
So putting myself in a situation that was uncomfortable because everybody else was better than me
Right.
at what I needed to do, like it's uncomfortable, but that's the best way I can think of to have your weaknesses flung at you.
That's really good advice. So like just to make sure I'm getting what you're saying, basically it's like identify your weaknesses, find people who are strong at that, and then spend time with them and learn from them.
Well, and identify your weaknesses by figuring out what it is you want to do,
Uh-huh.
finding people who do that well, and seeing what they do well that you're crap at.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks so much. That's actually really good advice.
Good.
I gotta start doing that myself, right? So like, I guess I've got to find more business people who are better at managing their energy and their time. I guess that's why I'm hanging out with this guy.
It's fun
Right?
hanging out.
Exactly, right?
And
So
I hang out with you.
exactly, right?
We help each other.
We do help each other, right? You want to make sure you guys can find good friends that'll help you out and support you, right? Your network is your net worth, as they say. So that's a good way to overcome your weaknesses. Figure out who you're spending time with and make sure you're with people who are definitely better than you. If you can't admire them or you feel sorry for these people, you need to stop hanging out with them. They're bums. I might cut that out.
Cut it out.
Yeah,
That was funny.
yeah. Bums, right? Don't hang out with losers, guys. All right. This is step number 1. All right, guys. So it's the next day, and we're on step 2 of 3. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about after you've identified what it is you're weak at and you found the right people, one of the things that's really most important as you're spending time with new people and you're enduring your weaknesses. One of the biggest things is we're going to go back to what we learned about maintaining momentum, and that is to embrace failure. But moving on, you got to embrace the suck. One part about doing better about things and learning how to succeed is that you have to be willing to suck at it. You have to be willing to do better. And part of doing better means you're going to do badly at first, right? Because you don't start at the top. And so you have to work through that ego and that pain and not identify with it as you're moving forward. You have to identify more with what you're trying to do and then just keep willing to move forward, right? And part of letting that focus stay with you is not allowing yourself to be distracted, right? Because oftentimes we let ourselves get distracted from what is hurting us or what we don't like to see in ourselves because we start seeing and we're confronting our weakness. We have to remember that staying at the edge, that's really, really tough.
And so part of staying that focus is that you got to acknowledge the pain. You got to acknowledge the suck. And you just have to be willing to do the little bit of work that's necessary. And it's okay to suck. It's okay to do poorly. It's okay to not necessarily feel good about it, but just do it, right? Like Nike said, that's why they have billions and millions of dollars in that one logo. Just do it. Hey, so it is the third and final tip. And I just came under this tree and I was thinking about how to best explain it. And it's really just this simple character attribute, and that's persistence. Here's the thing, guys. When you say, I want to write a book, I want to have a career as a creative, that I want to be paid for my creativity and my art, you're making a decision that 1% of people never make, and of that 1% of people who decide to do it, very many people don't succeed. And so in order to truly win, it's really just a matter of persistence, because there's a saying that says there is not a lot of room on the extra mile. And it's because very few people go the extra mile. Very few people are doing what is more than necessary, the minimum. And you can't think like that. You have to be willing to go beyond. That's literally what this is all about. So you have to ask yourself, am I really willing to push the limits, or am I just so addicted to my comfort and to the mediocrity of life? Because let's get real. In the United States in 2022 or around the world, right? Unless you're in a really, really difficult country, but in most Western countries and even some Eastern ones, it is really, really easy to be mediocre. It is incredibly easy and comfortable to survive and not be exceptional whatsoever. You actually can be on the lower end of humanity in terms of your developmental capacity, your intelligence, your work ethic. You do not have to be excellent at all to survive and live a good life, or at least a comfortable life in 2022. You don't. And so when you decide, I want to write a book, or I want to get paid to be a creative, you're choosing to be an excellent person, which you have to understand 99% of the people around you won't understand, don't choose, don't get it, because they want to be mediocre. They're not trying to be excellent. And part of that decision is you have to come to yourself and realize, hey, I'm choosing to be different. And part of choosing to be different is that you're going to be different. And part of being different means that people aren't necessarily going to treat you the same, that you're going to have things fall out of your life, and that you have to persist until you get to the end. And so part of persisting means that until the thing you wrote down is attributing in your life, you are going to continue along this road. You're going to embrace the suck, you're going to seek out your failures, and then you're just going to focus and do the thing. Now, in a little bit, I'm going to be talking about how I'm doing this practically in my own life with Operation Goose Rocket, and specifically what I'm doing and how I'm finding my own weaknesses, embracing the suck, and moving forward. So we'll talk about that later after this, when I get set down with you guys on the actual goals of Operation Goose Rocket. But if you're here for all the tips and stuff like that, that's it, guys. Find your weaknesses, get people that'll help you out with that, embrace the suck, right? And then just persist and recognize that you're going to lose a lot of things that you have in your life. Because in order to make room for the brand new things, you got to toss out the old junk. And that's just what happens. And there's an idea of good, better, and best. And when you're going for your dreams, only the best will do. So even which is good will have to go. Even that which is good will have to go. And that's just something you're going to have to embrace. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how I'm embracing that personally as I move along Operation Goose Rocket. And we'll move forward with that. Appreciate you guys, and take care. We are doing the update on Operation Goose Rocket. Now, if you liked the tips so far that I gave you on focus, please hit like and subscribe. It helps out. Share, let these videos get seen. There's not very many views on them, and I need as many people to see them as possible, but I'm going to just keep trying to create content, and hopefully some people will watch this one day and it'll be helpful, right? Now, if you guys remember last week, we were talking about momentum and how to maintain momentum, and in that we talked about measuring your results as well as reassessing and analyzing the results you had. And so that's what we're going to do as we learn and get into the next phase of focus. I'm going to put a little description in the card here of that previous video so you guys can see it, probably over here somewhere in the video, and I'll put it on at the end as well so you guys can see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about focusing. But here we're going to reanalyze basically what the progress was made towards the goals, right? So last month, I'm shooting for 2x part of what I'm shooting for in my goals, right? And I only made 0.3 of that too, right? So I had basically 15% of my goal. I got towards 15% of my goal, right? Now, I haven't given the specific number, and like I said, if I can get a video with 10 likes, I'll reveal the number, but I haven't even gotten 10 likes, so the number is still undisclosed what that is, right? But I'm trying to shoot for that. So I've only gotten 15%, and I need to shoot for 200% of what I'm going for, right? In order to hit the goal, right? So I still have, what is that? So I still have 185% more to go. And in this month, I didn't do that. Right, so I literally made less than I normally make this month as I was doing all these new activities because I didn't do the normal income generating activities that I do. So that was troublesome, and I can't do that for too many more months, you know. And so for me to do that, that's going to be another focus. That's going to be the primary focus, right? Because obviously I need to make some moolah. But there was a couple other things that I want to build off of it. Now, one thing in analyzing, reassessing, you have to look at all the different goals that you have, right? So here I have my monthly income, I have publishing The Girl and the Beast volumes 3, 4, and 5, as well as making 40 clients in Pro-Lit-Fic, and then monetizing, right? Now, monetizing the YouTube channel is without a doubt the most difficult one. This is the one that I have no idea how to do. So what I want you guys is when you're looking over which goals to focus on as you're choosing your weaknesses, you're not only choosing which is the most difficult, but you're also choosing like which you suck at the most, and sort of like the critical ones based in your values, right? Now, if you remember my values before, right, here I have my relationship with the divine, my health, and then, you know, I have my mission. Now, this right now, I'm reorganizing which tasks are going to be the most important for helping me accomplish my mission. Now, in terms of finances, like I'm not struggling or dying or anything like that, but I can't have too many more months where I'm making 15% of what I've normally, like the highest amount I've made, right? Because I'm trying to stay near the top on that. So that means those activities become more baseline, right? Which means before I was putting my YouTube channel up because it was so hard, but now I have to maybe not spend less time doing it, but I need to figure out the skill set and put more focus, right, on my business, right? So that's going back into the business circles, right? Finding my friends who are doing the businesses like I am and going into some of those groups. So that I'm focusing on making sure that I'm getting this up. Now the thing is, I haven't done the 2x, but I've done the 1x. So I need to be performing at the levels that I've done in the past before I keep trying to push past that. That's part of embracing the suck, right? Is that you have to make sure you're performing at least at levels that you've seen out of yourself before you try to move forward. So that means right now I need to focus on stabilizing my income generation activities, and then after that, because this is my focus, I need to think, okay, then what's the next easiest thing to do? Now here's the thing, as I work on building that income, also getting clients, those are connected to each other because as I get clients, that builds my income. So both these two goals, if I focus on them, as I make all these go, these are going to be my #1 priority, right? Because, so these are the two goals that I'm going to focus on. My income, because I've done 15% of what I've normally done, so I know I can reach that. So there's a number that I know that I have to at least get 100% on before I even focus too much on anything else. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing the YouTube videos, but I've got to find a way to basically make them less of a priority and put more time into it. But then I also had to reallocate what were some of the things that what else I was doing with my time, because that time's got to come from somewhere. So the next thing is publishing volume 3 in September, right? Now the reason this one is going to be #2 and not the YouTube, right? The publishing is going to be my #2 priority. It's because I've published a book before. And to be honest, publishing the rest of the books, publishing volume 3, 4, 5, and the Compendium, I've done all this before, and I can do all that work early. So this month, my first and second priority is going to be doing my monthly income here, too, and making sure I'm getting clients and building up my monthly income as I'm getting clients. And then my second priority is going to be setting out the publishing dates, getting the manuscripts ready, and making sure all these are published. Now the thing is, what's cool about that is if I focus on these, especially this one, I can get this one pretty much on autopilot in about 5-6 weeks. Because once I do all the manuscripts, I upload everything, I get all the cover art and stuff, that's going to be all taken care of. Then it's just a matter of doing pre-launch and advertising it. So I just have to do some formatting, do a lot of early work. So you're going to see the shift move from this, right? From this publishing this stuff, and that's going to be my focus. So I will only be making one video a week on these Operation Goose Rocket. Like, I intended to do more. It's funny, I literally wrote down in my content calendar that I was going to do this, but after doing this video I realized, hey, I got to recalibrate my focus, and part of that example is changing what I'm focusing on, right? So I need to focus on building that income and getting more clients. But what was cool is I figured out a way to integrate that into my YouTube. So I'll be making more videos, but they're going to be a little simpler, and that's part of my workshop videos to help that. But obviously it's like, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to, I need to get clients and obviously build that up, but ultimately it's just about helping people with their writing and helping them become better versions of themselves, as well as write and tell the best stories possible. So as I focus then on this and this, naturally, especially if you've done your things, your priorities right, YouTube now is going to be my number 3rd priority, YouTube, right? So that means I need to prioritize first my business activities, and then my clients, right? That will in turn help me hit my income goal, right? And then, as I focus on that, that'll drip down into the publishing. So this is going to be another big time sink. So these are going to be my first 2 time sinks. I've said it about 1,000 times. Anyway, we're going to cut through this, and hopefully you guys will come. So I'm just going to do another take. All right. So now that I know what my number 1 priority is, right? So let me actually move it just a little bit closer here, right? So it's super clear. So we see here that my number 1 priority is taking care of my business and getting clients, right? And then as I focus on doing that, right, publishing the books is going to be my 2nd priority. Because if I do that, right, that's the thing I can get done in about 5-6 weeks that'll take care of itself. And then once that's going on autopilot, that'll then help me be able to take my focus off of the publishing and then onto YouTube. So it's being able to see long term about where your focus is going, right? And that's part of embracing the suck and doing it. So as I'm recalibrating this focus, I realize I've got to dig down into this, then take care of this over the next 5-6 weeks, make sure all these are pre-planned, pre-published, getting all the cover art and everything set up for the launches. And once that's done, that'll be taken care of, and then YouTube, while my business, will naturally take priority. And so I've got to figure out a way to get the clients and stuff in the meantime. But then at least now I know where my hierarchy needs to be, which is my business first, my writing second, my writing and publishing second, and then YouTube is higher up. And there, by reassessing my values from the things I learned, so that's what we're doing here, and that's from the values I learned in week 1 when we talked about your values and where my time ought to go. From being able to do that, now I have a clear vision of, okay, this is what didn't work in July, but now moving into August, as I recalibrate, this is what we know we'll do. So then at the end of August, we'll recalibrate and see how we did and what got in the way. That's the lesson so far, implementing everything that we learned from week 4 on maintaining momentum, reassessing, reanalyzing, or rather analyzing where we were at, the progress we made, what didn't happen, and then coming back to it again. So that's what we just did, and now I've reset my priorities, right? So I know that my business and my clients, that's where most of my time and activities need to come, outside of maintaining my health and my relationship with God. Then the rest, from business, writing, YouTube, in that order,
will be the priority. So writing's going to be the next thing, making sure that the publishing and getting the word out on The Girl and the Beast is important, and then YouTube. Guys, look forward to week 6, week 7 the following week after that, and then we'll just keep going. I hope you guys are well. Keep checking out the videos, and thank you so much for coming to the Oni Onyabor Raising Project. I'm Oni Onyabor. Please like and subscribe if you found this useful, and share it with someone. And remember, stay happy, stay healthy, and you're the author of your own life, so keep writing. Thanks, and goodbye.